All right. Hopefully I've done everything right this time. I am trying so hard to get this right, you guys. So let me check, make sure the YouTube started. Oop, I don't want to hear that. I just want to see. It does appear we are live, so I want to play a little song for you all. If you are, I don't know where it saved it to though. Hey, where does that save that to? I don't know. I thought I could just play it. Well, let's see if I can figure out where my drive is now. You guys, thank you for being here. Keep sharing out the live. Nick just arrived. I'm going to bring her up as soon as she requests. And then I just wanted to play you a tune real quick, but I've got to figure this stuff out. There's always some kind of technology thing that I have to learn in order to do these things. And I'm trying. Thank you for the heart me. You guys, thanks for tapping the screen. Let's get those likes up. Do all of the good things, okay? All of them. And,
Ooh. My name is cutting off my face.
Hey, Nick. Okay, hang on one second. I wanted to see if I could play my new theme song for everybody, but I'm trying to figure out how to get it over to my iPad.
You gotta play the new theme song. Oh my god, that theme song is everything.
I wrote those lyrics. I do. I'm trying to turn you up here. There we go. Sorry, you guys. I hit the wrong button. Okay, wait. Gosh, I don't know how to find anything. I thought if I just emailed it to myself, I could open up the email, right? But instead it downloaded it to my drive. But when I go to my drive, I don't see it. I really hate stupid crap like this. It just drives me nuts. Activity, suggestions, no, none of this, file, not in there. Let's go back to Chrome. Find out what on earth. Is it still downloading it? Like, what's it doing? Maybe I'll just go to TikTok and play it. Oh, I can do that. So you guys might hear a little noise at first while I boot up TikTok.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, let me go to me. Let me just go to me. Don't allow. Profile. Yes. Okay, ready, you guys? This is my new theme song.
It's a brand new day and she's back again. Get yourself a beverage, let's get settled in. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Hey, 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 all our favorite heathens gathered in one place. All our questions answered, our favorite creators on display. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Get ready for the fun. Decon Q&A with CrystalJae.
I love it.
That's so fun, huh? I wrote the lyrics, but I did use a program for the music because I am not musically inclined. I'm just lyrically inclined. So, yeah.
I'm only musically inclined if I'm in the shower, in the house, alone, with nobody else here. Yeah.
I can hum a few bars, you know. I was in choir when I was a kid for many years. And I used to, you know, like every child, I played the recorder. But my mother, I played the guitar when I was very young, and I was very good at it. I won awards for it. But I didn't have a great relationship with my mom, in case I haven't said that before. My mom was my aunt, and but she was my mom to me. And let's just say that she loved her two other children more than me. And so my sister had taken piano lessons, and then she like wouldn't do her practices and things like that. So whenever my older siblings failed in life, I got punished for it. So since she didn't do her piano lessons, I was then not allowed to continue with guitar lessons, because my mother assumed that that meant I too would not do my lessons and it would be a waste of money to her. So yeah, that's how it went in my house.
I tried piano, mainly keyboard, for a little while. It wasn't for me. Played clarinet in high school, also wasn't for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I really loved music. I ended up, we'll say dating for lack of a better word, because I'm not going to explain the whole story right now. People in the music industry, when I was too young to be doing things like that. And so I was around a lot of musicians a lot of my life, and always have loved music, but unfortunately never really learned how to play music. I did get, I don't even know if I still have, I did get myself an acoustic guitar as an adult and an electric guitar as an adult, with the hopes of learning myself. But you know how ADHD is? You think you're going to do something, so you spend all the money to do it, and then dust collects on the very thing that you are going to do.
Yeah.
My children have enjoyed playing the guitar sometimes, but even they didn't end up going, hey, can I play guitar? So I don't know. It is what it is. It's life. But I wrote the lyrics, and I'm damn proud of the lyrics, because I thought it was cute and fun, and I think that it's an awesome little theme song for my show.
Yeah, I used to write lyrics for songs too. I actually used to be able to sing. I was in choir pretty much my entire, I don't know, young adult life, like teenage years, and then I sang for the church a lot of times too. So now I can't hold a tune in my life, which is wild, but I think it's mainly because I just didn't keep it up, you know.
No, I did not sing. Wait, hi, Crystal. Was it you that sung Two Hands? I don't know what Two Hands, but I haven't seen anything. So no, I didn't sing anything. All right, so I think you know how the show goes. I'm pretty sure you kind of know, but for those who are joining us for the first time, we're going to start off today with some hard-hitting journalistic questions from my friend NickGraves by me. Meanwhile, the rest of you, I'd like you to get your questions ready. Get ready to come up. If you are too shy to come up, you may ask them in chat, but I prefer for you to get your butt up on stage, and you don't have to cam up. Just ask the question. If you are on YouTube, I'll be reading your questions. I don't have super chats or anything available yet, because I have not reached the magic 500 number. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do today. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe right now. What are you doing? Like the show and hit subscribe. If you are here, go to the link in my bio, hit subscribe. If you have alt Gmail accounts, go use all of them. Subscribe with all your alts to my YouTube because I need to hit that magic 500 number as quickly as possible. But I'm going to start with asking questions. Then you'll get to come up, ask your questions. Remember, Nick is an academic of, I wouldn't just say a biblical academic, but a religious academic. And her specialties are like hell and Satan and the very things that you wonder about when you're deconstructing. So get your questions ready to come up and ask Nick. And then at the end, we're going to play your favorite game in mine, Divine or Decline. And by the way, I'm working on a little theme song for my game too. So all right, let's get ready here. Are you ready? Do you have? All right. Let me turn my iPad back down just in case I open up YouTube or something. Let me, because I
exited out of my YouTube because I'm forever bumping my keyboard, and with my luck, Rammstein is going to start playing while I'm trying to answer questions.
You guys don't mute Christians who come in the live. Let them spew all their hate. Let them get it all out, okay? Maybe if we let them start releasing some of their hate, someday they'll be filled with love again, okay? So I'm gonna push my little laptop back because I get afraid. I touch shit on the laptop and that screws up the YouTube. So every once in a while when you're watching my YouTube, you'll see a screen that's like, why is there a picture of dragon fruit on Crystal's YouTube during the show? That's because I touched the damn laptop. Okay.
Just ask Liz. She's always yelling at me because I'm always accidentally pushing buttons somewhere. She's like, stop pushing buttons. I'm sorry.
All right, let me find out. Oh, okay. No, that's not it. What are we doing?
I have no idea. I just
trying to
paid
find
for
my
the food.
Oh, okay, wait. Okay, here we go. Sorry, but sometimes the divine or decline questions, they look like my icebreaker questions. I'm like, which one? Oh, no, that's not what I want. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. All right, ready? If you had to swap lives with a cartoon character for a week, who would it be and why?
Tuxedo masks so I could show him how to properly treat a woman. Let's face it, he treated Sailor Moon like shit. She needs a proper man in her life.
Okay. I wasn't a Sailor Moon person, but my children were, so they would probably totally get the reference. I have to say, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But I trust you. I trust you on that. I'm simply going to be Jessica Rabbit because what the hell? Of course I want to be Jessica Rabbit for a while. Why wouldn't I? Right? I want to look like that and be as like badass as her. Yeah, for sure. Jessica Rabbit. Okay. What's the most useless superpower you can think of but would still totally want?
Dying on the cross for sins.
You want that?
Yeah, because I'll actually do it right.
Jaren's tried to score a little extra brownie points with me by telling me that Jessica Rabbit wishes she looked like me. I don't think so, Jessica. Or Jaren, I don't think she wishes she looks like me. Okay.
Okay, so the most useless magic power I think I've ever seen, it's off of American Horror Story. And this one chick, her superpower is she can look at any food and see how many carbs are in it. Or if it's actually gluten-free or not. And I'm like, that's kind of dumb. But
okay,
some people might want it, but it's kind of
that
dumb.
would be kind of cool. I mean, it's useless, but something that some people might want.
Right?
I'm just saying, this was a similar question was brought up on the show before, and I think I'm still going to go with that same semi-useless superpower. I would like to be able to poof and have great hair at any moment of any given time. I just want to be able to have perfect hair at the, you know, at my whim. At my whim, if
At
you
your
will.
whim.
Hello, Rabbi. How are you today? You guys, thank you so much for being here. Keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live, gifting my wonderful guest today, NickGraves. And I need 8 more subbies. You guys have no idea how many people want to just give out free subs to the chat, but they can't do it till I get 8 more paid subbies. It's less than a cup of coffee a month. And I bring you the best creators on the app. So make sure you subscribe to me. And Liz and I are working on bringing you, well, we haven't started working yet, but we're going to be working on bringing you some subscriber only benefits other than just the stickers. She's going to be getting with me to talk to me about what special things I can do for my subscribers to, you know, give you a little incentive and a little thank you for being a subscriber. Okay.
No.
What's your can't leave the store without checking the aisle item? Like you don't need it, but you always look.
Oh. Probably.
Ooh, I have a subwave now. I'm sorry. I have a subwave. Thank you guys. Thank you, Nick. I didn't see who else was the other subwave, but I have a subwave. So if I can get 3 more in 14 minutes or so, I don't know. I think that Trump ends up being kicked out of office. That's what's going to happen. Subscribe now. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it was Liz. Liz was the other one.
Oh, thank you, Liz. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. What's the thing that you look for?
Probably the bakery. Hands down, I'm probably going to grab a pie or some cheesy buns on my way out of the store.
Hell yeah. It's not necessarily an item for me, but I have to check the clearance. I just have to go see what's over there. I get FOMO that I might miss out on the best deal of my life, you know? So I've got to always go check the clearance cart or the day old bakery, whatever's on clearance. I got to go look.
Yeah.
Nick's hair looks good like that.
Thank you.
Grabbing buns, eh? That's what Rabbi said.
Yep. Always grabbing them buns.
Okay. What's the weirdest or most unexpected thing you've ever Googled at 2 a.m.?
You know, I might have to ask my NSA agent to remind me. I Googled, since looking into things, a lot of statistics, I've Googled some weird shit over the last few years. You know, I don't know. It's usually religious based and it's something usually really weird. I think the last weirdest thing was to get the full scope of the story on how Schleppnir, Odin's horse, was actually conceived by Loki. That was a wild, wild story. I think that would have to be one of the weirdest, and I apologize to my NSA agent for it already. I sent him a fruit basket, so.
Okay, I just looked just for the fun of it, and it was because I couldn't remember for sure if I was saying it right. I wanted to know how to say "shut up, tiny penis" in Spanish. Cállate, pito chico. I couldn't remember if I was saying it correctly, so I was like, I need to verify this before I tell you, tu cállate, pito chico, okay? So now I know, and there you go. That was the
Love
last
it.
thing.
Love it.
Okay, now I gotta find where I was because I went and Googled that, or looked to see what I Googled. If you could only communicate using movie quotes for a day, which movie are you choosing?
Gods, I am forever quoting movies. Megamind, because Megamind is full of amazing quotes.
Give me one.
Tomato, potato, tomato, potato. And I love you, random citizen.
I love that. Mine still quoted to this day. Day to quit sniffing glue. Have you ever been to a Turkish bath? I speak jive. Shirley, you must be joking. Don't call me Shirley.
Name's not Shirley.
My name's not Shirley.
That's a good one to quote from.
Yeah, it has too many winning quotes for me. That movie was the first time I don't know, it might have even been the only time that I can literally say I fell down on the floor laughing so hard when I saw it the first time. I was a kid though, so it was probably also the fact that a lot of that humor, I wasn't a kid, but I was like probably like preteen or very early teen. So the humor in there was just, I know the slapping of the old lady. God, there were so many great scenes. The singing with the guitar and it knocking out the girls, and she's all, you know. That was just, it's a great. Now I think I need to, get a little elevated and maybe watch that movie again. I'm just saying.
Funny enough, my mom and I just rewatched that, what was it, last month or the month before? It's a good one. It's classic.
Leslie Nielsen is dearly missed in my book. He was a comedic genius, and I miss him very much. Okay. You're given a 10-second infomercial slot to promote yourself. What's your tagline?
God, that's a hard one. Promote yourself. Hi, my name is NickGraves, and I am a derpy academic.
Well, I used to be a reseller, and I had a tagline at the end of all my shows. I was going to carry it over when I started doing deconstruction content, but then I decided to change it. And so my tagline, the thing I say when we leave, in case y'all don't remember, I always say, I'll see you around the mean streets of TikTok. But I used to say, go make some money and don't be a dick. that was what I would say at the end of all my shows. So I actually one of my followers made me a clock that says, go make some money, don't be a dick. So I actually have a clock that says that now.
I love that.
If you're, let's see, what's a conspiracy theory you don't believe but find wildly entertaining?
The ice wall.
Tell me about it. I don't.
So, it's part of the flat earth theory, but the ice wall is basically, once you get to Antarctica, it's a giant ice wall, and it separates us from the lands that are beyond. And basically, in the lands of beyond, that's where all of our ancestors are. That's where basically the gods are. That's, luscious forests to frozen land, all of that kind of stuff. And of course, I don't believe it, but the idea would be phenomenal. Because it's like, you mean I just have to climb an ice wall and then I can go home? So I like the theory. I think it could make a really good movie or something, but I don't. Yeah.
I like that too. Okay, so just to clarify, I wouldn't even say I'm not a huge fan. I actually avidly hate conspiracy theories because I believe that they prey on people who have mental illness. And as a person with mental illness, it bothers me that people like me can be harmed by the misinformation the conspiracy theories put out there. And then it makes people not be able to decipher between the truth and a lie. And I find that difficult. But all of that disclaimer and everything being said, my favorite one is, you know how there's supposedly like a Loch Ness monster, and well, there is also supposedly Tahoe Tess. And in Lake Tahoe, which is one of the deepest lakes, I think, in Southern California, might be even out of many states. I don't know. It's a very deep lake. There, they have said that basically they've never really, adventured down to the bottom of the lake to see what's down there, and that there could possibly be animals that exist down there that are large and that, that we don't know about, that don't surface and stuff, just like in the deep oceans and so forth. And that there is one that's a sea monster, basically a lake monster, and they call her Tahoe Tess. So that is one of my favorite ones.
I think most monster stories when it comes to lakes are because of sturgeon. Like, they really are lake monsters when you see how big they actually get. And I think that's where most of those myths come from, is sturgeon.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Hey, you guys, help me reach my gift goal if you don't mind. They are only 1 coin each, so it wouldn't take long to do it. So if you could, just start sending up some of them little April things. I don't know what they are. What, those little April 4th things? You'll see what I'm talking about. The little calendar thing. All right. Why do I keep scrolling away from the questions, Nick? Oh, I think I didn't scroll away, actually. Oh, wrong questions. If your life were a video game, what would the loading screen tips say about you?
Don't feed her after midnight. Beware of probably here be monsters or something like that. I don't know. When I think, if because you get asked a lot, people, especially nerds like me, talk about this a lot. Of, if you could get stuck in any video game, what it would be, and it would be BioShock. So it'd probably have to do something with that, being some kind of a undersea laboratory experiment gone wrong. So it's probably like, don't put your hand near her face or something, or put your hand near her face or something like that.
Mine would just simply say, beware of Dark Crystal.
I love it. Simple and to the point.
Pressing A allows you to erase memory of cut screens. Okay.
I like that one.
You get to create a new holiday. What's it called, and how do people celebrate?
Oh, I'm always consistently talking about basically a second Halloween. But less dress up and more kind of pagan, ritualistic, night for the ancestors type of thing. But
I like
the cool decorations and that, but yeah.
Maybe like kind of Day of the Dead-y in a way, like
kind of, yeah. But
I get what you're saying.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Mine would be very simple. It would be Crystal Cookie Day, and then the way we celebrate it is everybody gives me cookies.
I love it.
Any day, whenever you want them, Crystal. You just give me your address. I just need your address, your phone number. I think I have your phone number.
Your credit card number. So
yeah.
So
I can purchase it with your money, and then I will do it. Like, I'll buy you cookies for you.
I love cookies. It's really, I'm a person who doesn't have very many favorites. Like, it used to drive my kids crazy because they would tell me, what's your favorite color? But I don't have a favorite color overall. Like, I will have a favorite color for a thing. Like, when I was younger, I wanted a cherry red a Mustang, you know. Now I'm older, I actually would like a blue Mustang, but blue isn't my favorite color. I just think it looks really cool on a Mustang. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a favorite cookie per se, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be God, I said Springerly the last time, and then Volsey talked me into macadamia nut cookies. Like maybe
Oh,
white chocolate
yes.
macadamia nut cookies would be really good, hot and right fresh out of the oven.
Mhm.
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this short and go make some cookies.
I was gonna say, like, what, Nick? Isn't this
We'll
about Nick?
reschedule for
What's your
another day.
favorite treat, Nick, or cookie? Or
You're gonna go get your cookies. I'm gonna walk to the store and get a pie. It's fine.
There we go.
oh, you like pie?
Apple pie.
Apple pie. I love. What is it? It's strawberry rhubarb pie with some like ice cream. Yeah.
Yes, that one's a good
I
one.
love the song on Family Guy. It's a wonderful day for pie. You know that one? It's one of my favorite Family Guy songs and scenes because they make it all like Disney-like and they're all happy and everything. Anyway, okay, I digress. But it is a wonderful day for pie, just so you all know. What's something small that irrationally makes your day 10 times better?
Irrationally small that makes my day 10 times better.
When people text you first, sometimes that'll make my day. Like if it's somebody I want to talk to and they like text me first, like for some reason that'll like make my whole day.
Ridiculously small. When I see people, I wake up and I open TikTok and see people actually interacted with my page.
I feel like that's the same energy. I totally get what you mean, though. Like,
it's like, oh wow, they actually pressed the like button on my post. That's amazing. Thank you, all 4 of you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. For me, like I don't know. Like so many things can make me very happy. So many small things make me happy, you know? Like there's my daughter's fiance has a cat that lives with us. His name is Quincy, and he always climbs up on my lap. This is not, you know, something like that. It's different if he does. But there's something about his cute little face when he looks at me a certain way while and he knows he's irritating me. Okay. He looks at me like, come on, I'm so cute. Just pet me. You know, that makes my day better. My kids texting me or calling me always makes my day 10 times better. I don't know, today my daughter just sent me a picture of the sky and said, I'm driving to Arizona. Look what a beautiful day it is. And I don't know, that was like, I just love her so much. Like the fact that she found something as simple as the sky to be something that made her day better, made my day better. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like it's just little things like that. Hello, YouTube. I see I have one viewer over there. I don't know why I don't get pushed out, but hey, we'll figure it out.
I was gonna like maybe this weekend spend some time. Nick, thank you. Like looking at videos on how to like kind of mess with the algorithm because, man, some people they get pushed. I think it's like if you have like Christianity, I notice, or like atheism or anything is bad or anything like that, that it won't push it. Like, so you have to like code it a certain way or phrase it a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it. I thought I was using a lot of this same tags that Justin was or whatever when I first did it, but I don't know. I might not have. I don't remember. Hello, Life Beyond Belief. Life Beyond Belief will be with me on Sunday for Decon Q&A. So yeah. First I have Sam in the morning, and then I have them in the afternoon, evening. So I have a full day on Sunday. Okay, now it's
Can I
time for
share the
your
Wi-Fi
questions.
gospel? Sorry.
I'm sorry,
Wi-Fi
what?
gospel? Should I share this the Wi-Fi gospel, Nick? Do you want Wi-Fi gospel to come on?
Wi-Fi gospel, what?
He was just like on my, because sometimes I share lives to him because I want to see if he'll come and like try and debate people.
I mean, he's more than free to come ask me questions. He might be not be happy with the answers though.
Honestly, he would just try and run tag. So
I mean, which is funny because when they come into my live, right, and they're all like start running tag, and I'll stop them and go, wait, no, I believe in a divine creator. And then I'll go, but now you got to prove to me that yours is the one. And then they start stumbling over their words because they're like, because they know they can't run tag for their God because you can run tag for all gods. So they've got nothing and they end up running. It's really hilarious.
You know what? Actually, I kind of want like everybody to just take that tactic now. Just be like, yeah, so I actually have a God.
Yeah.
But what else was like? Oh, usually they get into like, well, Jesus is the only one that works because of the Trinity or some, I don't know, some.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
Didn't Wi-Fi recently debate Jaren? Wasn't that who I watched? Wasn't it Wi-Fi and Jaren?
I just saw where he ate a sandwich.
Was that Wi-Fi?
I think it was. I can't remember.
And then at the end, Wi-Fi crashed out, and basically, when Jaren would ask him like something about like if earthquake unalived everybody, and Wi-Fi said as long as it was all atheists.
Was it Daniel also did what? I don't know who.
Was it Daniel or was it? Oh, now I don't remember. Oh, it was Daniel. Okay, it was Daniel. Okay, yeah, that was horrible. I'm not a big fan. First of all, I haven't seen Wi-Fi do. I don't know why people do. Why can't I think of the word real debates? I know the word's not real. Formal debates with Wi-Fi. He's horrible at them. He really is awful. I've watched several with him.
Nick, have you ever done a formal debate? I think you would be good at a formal debate, actually. Just because it takes a lot of like studying and preparation and like thought. And I think that you're really good at that kind of thing. Like building up your like knowledge on a specific subject, like if you're going to run it for a topic.
Yeah. I don't know who I would debate though, honestly. I kind of almost want to debate the guy that Jaren was.
Sir?
Because it's curious to me. Yes, sir. Because it's always curious to me how an atheist can still believe in a historical Jesus when there is literally zero evidence. And he really didn't get his point across to how he believes that way. So I think I would want to debate somebody like that rather than a Christian. And get a bunch of apologies.
That's right. Jaren was Sir and Daniel was Wi-Fi Gospel. But I did see Wi-Fi Gospel with somebody else recently too. I just can't think of who it was. But anyway, both of them were horrible. Like I don't feel that he ever proves anything. I feel that he
dodges
and I
the
feel
Bible
like
it's the plague.
Oh yeah, and he gets so angry because he's not making points, and whenever he's debating, the atheist always stays so calm because because he loses it so easy, Anyway, I'm not impressed with Wi-Fi Gospel. Come at me, bro. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to do a formal debate. I find formal debates actually pretty boring, especially when they're like, you have 27 minutes to ramble mindlessly in the opening statement, and I'm like, I'm asleep after the first 2 sentences. I'm like, I don't know.
I would totally probably pull a Jern and sit there and waste like half the time eating a sandwich or something.
Honestly,
like, I'm sorry, but Jern is such a goat for that. Like,
yeah. That's a boss move, and
it really was. It was.
Well, Benny boy, do you have some questions for
Do
our
I
wonderful
ever? Nick.
Yes.
It's not troublesome.
Do I ever? What is your favorite? And I say favorite as in like just the one you probably kind of like the most from the Bible, like story or verses, or like it doesn't have to be one verse. It could be like the situation between David and Jonathan, or something like that.
Everything to do with Jezebel. When I was younger, we're all taught to hate Jezebel, right? When you're in church.
Yep.
But once you're a grown-ass adult and you're not in the cult anymore and you read the story for yourself and you see the mauling of the children by the bearers and this and that, you start to realize that Jezebel had a point and she wasn't actually a bad guy. She was trying to save people from God's prophets. Okay, she was. So I think that I think I very much kind of value her a lot in her story. But of course, Genesis. I love Genesis because the entire thing just destroys Christianity, and Revelation just because I'm apocalyptic literature nut.
Yeah, I need to spend some time listening to like you going over Revelation. I'm so bad at Revelations because is it Revelation or
Revelation? Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was one. He had one revelation.
I toss it out to the side because I'm like, well, it technically hasn't happened yet, so it's like, but I do love the like how you explain it, like it's Nero, and like this was obviously a contextual, like not so far in the future, or might have even been like had already happened kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it was Revelation was definitely, like I tell people, it was written by a very, very pissed off Jew who was very angry with Rome, primarily Nero, and unfortunately, whoever the author was, instead of coming up with a lot of his own stuff, took a page out of Daniel, or 2 or 3 or 4. A lot of what was in Daniel was copied over to Revelation, but the message still gets across. I'm pissed off, and I want these people to pay.
Yeah. Well, I'll let somebody else ask a question. I have more if
okay.
We need them.
Well, stay up here then. Liz, did you have something to ask this lady?
Hey guys, Nick, I don't think we've ever met. Hi, my name is Liz. I decided that this would be a really good time to ask all the questions I want to in a public setting so that you are forced to answer. No. Hey, babe.
Oh, sweetheart.
The people want to know. The people need to know. NickGraves. Why is the E capital in Graves?
I knew this was coming.
Oh, good question. You know what? I never even really thought of it.
You know what? The bad part is I already know the answer, and we talked about it on I think Jason's live last week, and y'all are going to be really, really upset with the answer and the story. So, Nick, if you could please enlighten us.
Okay. Just because.
I don't believe that. I think it's for Emmanuel.
Benny, do you think that there's a better theory?
I was thinking like E for Dr. Evil or something, just for the word evil.
That works.
Yeah, no, the answer is no fucking reason, which pissed me off so much. And then I thought for sure, like, because it's graves, like, it kind of has the shape of like a headstone, maybe.
Ooh.
And then she's like, damn it, that's what I should have done. So I'm really disappointed in the answer. I'm really disappointed.
That is funny.
Just do the Christian
That
thing
is
and
really
like
funny.
just do apologetics and be like, oh yeah, that's totally what it was. Yeah, that's
Yeah, just steal it from me. That's fine.
I have to comment really quick about chat. We are sitting up here and we are talking and just having a great time. And then we have to get some Christian in chat who says, you can't be serious with this delusional nonsense. A capital E is delusional nonsense. I'm not sure what you're referring to. False news. Okay, so I guess your E wasn't for no reason. Is that the false news? Take out the trash. I already have my trash taken out. Did you forget? Do you guys need to take out your trash?
I'm with him.
trash
Take
is
out that
out.
trash. That capital E is trash. It should be a lowercase e. This is ridiculous. I agree.
You know what? I look at it and okay, so it's a capital letter, 3 letters, a capital letter, 3 letters. Oh, but the S kind of throws it on. I was gonna say like the S would have, if that wasn't there, it would have balanced.
Girl, I was looking for patterns. I was racking my brain for weeks trying to figure it out before I finally asked.
The Holy Spirit has given me revelation.
Oh no.
So the N, the G, and the E are all capitalized. Not good for everyone.
Ooh, that's good. Not good
So
for
it's not rated E
everyone.
for everyone. It's not good for everyone.
Well, shit. I think he just hacked it.
All right, I like that.
You can thank the
Okay,
Holy
so-
Spirit.
Rose, can I get your age for TikTok purposes just because I don't know you personally?
Sure, yeah, I'm 34.
Okay, did you have a question for Nick?
I had a question for you, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you a deacon?
No, that's Decon, not Deacon.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I was ready to be like, oh no, that's not how you spell deacon.
Yeah, no.
He
That's
does.
Decon.
There's a deaconess, Crystal, that sounds exactly like Crystal. This Crystal. Yeah,
So you deconstructed.
Yeah, so it's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae because I interviewed Deconstruction creators.
Oh, I love that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And now, if you'd like, NickGraves is an academic of the Bible, of Satan, of religion. Is there any questions you want to ask Nick about any of that?
I'm not sure because the reason why I deconstructed myself is because I read the Bible through and through. Right.
That'll do it.
That'll
Yeah.
do it.
That'll do it. Exactly. That'll do it. So, no, I don't really have a question about the Bible because I read it multiple times. I was a hardcore Christian growing up. I went to Sunday school. I went to a Christian, what is it called? Well, I grew up Lutheran.
Yep, my husband grew up Lutheran. Well, listen, I don't know if you have Discord, but we are part of a large deconstruction community, and we have a large Discord called Deconstruction Junction. The link is in my bio. It's absolutely free to join, but you will meet awesome people in there. We have about 40 or so creators who create deconstruction content on TikTok, YouTube, etc. And it's just an amazing group of people. So if you want to join, the link is in my bio. Feel free to join.
Oh, that's awesome. Can I ask you something though?
Sure.
Does it mean that I know you deconstructed, but does that mean you're an atheist or did you switch over to different?
I personally am an igtheist, and an igtheist is somebody who is ignostic, not agnostic, and it means that since we haven't really been able to define what a god is, I don't really feel there's any reason to believe in any god. We can't even define what it is.
Right, correct. Okay.
Yeah, so many different people within the decon community have different backgrounds. Some are atheists, some are the things.
Nick's a pagan.
Yeah, I just agnostic.
Yep. I'm
I'm a
pagan. You've got
atheist.
deists. Yeah, there's a wide variety of where they went after Christianity.
Yeah, there's some people who remain Christian. We don't have a lot in the community that remain Christian, but we do have some. There are pagans, there are witches, there are atheists, agnostics, agnostics. So there's a wide variety in the community. But I personally am an agnostic atheist or an atheist.
Right. Correct. Okay.
So what did you do when you deconstructed? Did you go to atheism or did you find another
Oh, I became an
belief
atheist.
system?
And it is weird too because it was such a long journey. So I started out as a like a Lutheran. I'm Norwegian, so we are, programmed to be Lutheran. Went to church, went to Sunday school, and then at Sunday school I was like, well, why did God do that? And was kicked out a lot. And then grew up, and then I was so we get baptized in Norway when we were like 2 to 3 months old. So we're automatically signed into the church in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
So they get more, like if you're signed into a church, they get money. And then I went to a Christian after high school. I went to a Christian, like, I don't know how to explain it in Norwegian or in English. I mean, so we after high school we can choose to go to this. It's called like folk high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a private high school where you can go like do like dance, volleyball, all that stuff. But
that's cool.
but it's Christian.
That's
Most
the downside.
Yeah, most likely it's Christian. So I went to one. It was Christian. Me and my friend started. So I had not read the Bible through and through before that. Me and my friend at the school started reading through Revelations, and that scared me so much. So I got scared
out of the church.
Right, because you've read Revelations. That is scary. That's the scary part of the Bible.
It was made to be scary. It was, that was the point of the book, and that was actually the point of them putting it in the Bible when they canonized it.
Exactly.
It was to instill fear in you.
Exactly. And then while this was happening, I think it was like, okay, so in Norway we don't have like a lot of crime, like huge crime, and then we had a mass shooting in Norway. There was this one guy who
was that 77 people that got unalived?
Yeah, no, 75.
Yeah,
So
okay.
First he set off a bomb in like.
Wait, we gotta say careful. We have to say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah,
That's
but
okay.
he did that in the city center at first. Then he drove off, and then he went to the island with during that, a lot of people were like, "Oh, this has to be a Muslim person," right? Right, but that's what they were saying, right?
Yeah.
And then I was also saying that because I was at that point I was Yeah. And then
even those of us in the West heard about what happened, and it was that was a bad one.
It was terrible. And then so I think after that, because I think I got like a hard realization that like, okay, I just said this, that I think it was them, right? And it wasn't them. So I was like, okay, I have to study about different religions. And then I went to teaching school, or I'm a teacher, so I went to like higher education, and I had to read I had to read the Torah, had to read the Bible, had to read the Quran through and through, and I was like, I don't like any of this. I
Yep,
don't.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't believe in any of this. So then I was like, and then also I'm half black, half American black, um, and the part in the Bible where it says like, oh, you can buy people from your neighboring. Yeah, it just
Yep.
yeah, nothing,
Yeah.
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 It to me, I was like, oh, I've been living my whole life, um, trying to be a quote unquote good person, and then nothing in the Bible is good. And then also I realized the only sinner in the Bible is God.
Yep.
Yeah, because uh, the devil in the Bible doesn't really do anything wrong. Like he
No.
told the truth, right? The
Yep.
snake told the truth, right? So I was like, oh,
And when
I've
he
been
does do things, he always has to get God's permission. Like when he does what he did to, like, say, Job, God's the one who told him, hey, what about Job? And then everything he did, he got permission from God to do. He didn't do anything without God's okay.
Right.
exactly.
It's because he was part of the divine council, and it was literally his job, basically, like what we would see as a prosecutor. That was his
Yeah,
job, was to persecute believers to the point where he could make them sin. Right. That was his job, was to push them to the edge. Um, and that was ordained by God. That was so yeah.
and also
Um,
I realized like I grew up with Sunday school, like I said, and I grew up learning that okay, Noah warned everybody, nobody wanted to come because they were sinners, and then I read the Bible. Noah didn't warn anybody.
Nobody. He didn't even care about
Nobody.
his own brothers and sisters. He had
Exactly.
siblings,
Mhm.
and they're all unalived in the flood. We have
Exactly.
a question in chat, but Ursula, I'm not sure if I understand, so correct me if I'm wrong, okay? You wrote, my question is, do animals, not humans, what happens to them? Are you asking if they go to heaven or hell? Do animals? Oh, do animals sin? Do animals sin, Nick?
No.
Gods. Do they show humanized characteristics, the same evils that we're capable of? Yes, they do. We see this.
But isn't sin technically not following God's law? And since they weren't Israelites, then they're not under the law?
Yes,
Well,
and
Wouldn't you say
also
technically?
and
because if
also
you really think about it, if they were not under the law, then why did female animals also get birthing pains?
Oh, I think just because he's an asshole, personally.
I mean,
That's my opinion. You, hey, mods, do not, unless he spams over and over again, do not mute D Strong. That's what he wants you to do. Instead, just let him talk, because every time he comments, he boosts my engagement and helps me get out into the algorithm. So he's literally doing Satan's work, and we appreciate that, D Strong. Thank you so much for your support. Keep commenting. We appreciate everything you do for our community as a bunch of heathens. We appreciate you. Okay, sorry. Continue. Did we ask Nick about the sparrow shit? Oh, Nick and I did talk about it when we were in Genesis. There, we were talking about the manna, and Nick brought up that sounds like they're eating bird shit, and I said, "What did you just say?" Because she wasn't there when I had earlier said, I think they're eating bird shit. And
Literally.
it was so funny because she came in and said the same thing I said. I'm sorry. Manna was bird shit from the
Manna was
quails he
bird
gave them.
shit.
That's what I believe. You can't convince me otherwise now. They scraped it up. What else would you be scraping up that's white?
Right?
What else?
What else?
And then it was nasty and stinky the next day.
It really, right? JD, what do you have for Nick?
Oh my God, I'm so nervous I get to talk to Nick.
I'm only up in your panel all the time.
First, I got to start with my thank yous. Thank you, Nick, for accepting me, and Liz. I mean, I was just some dude who hop on this app, and y'all kind of accepted me and took me in, and I really, really appreciate that. I got a couple questions. First one, who is your favorite, like really small creator and streamer on here?
Oh my God.
Like smaller than Crystal.
There's not much smaller than me.
Y'all see how he set that up, right? Y'all see how he set that up. I
A
see
little
you, Jason.
smaller,
Okay,
smaller
so
than Crystal.
so the silence. Please don't answer. You took too long.
God.
JD.
You took too long.
Here's
Never
my
mind.
JD.
I think his name is Deconstruct with me. I've heard people call him Jason.
Oh, is it a DJ or?
But only one calls me DW.
DW, yeah, that guy. He's
Okay.
Awesome. Spencer Hughes is actually another one. Spencer Hughes.
I like Spencer.
Is amazing. He's a X radio show host. So
but he has 10,000 followers now.
Say, he is not small. He hit 10K.
Yeah,
he's not small.
My goodness.
Point. Gosh, there's so many amazing content creators on here that just don't get the stage as much as they should be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, now a more serious question. Can you, I've heard you talk about it a few times here and there, but can you explain the mythos of hell?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do the short version though. So the earliest Jews, they didn't actually have a concept of an afterlife. Concepts of afterlife mostly came from places like Egypt and so on and so forth. But even Egyptian afterlife is a different concept than kind of like what Christianity has. So they never believed in a heaven or hell. All they really had was Sheol, which literally meant the grave or the pit. It wasn't until the Hellenization of Judaism that started not shortly, but in the grand scheme of time, shortly after the unalivement of Alexander the Great, that we start to see a narrative of some kind of afterlife. And you can see this example of this in the book of Daniel. I highly recommend just reading the entirety of the book, but it was mostly revolved around Antiochus IV, who was he literally thought that he was a reincarnation of Zeus and persecuted the Jews to the absolute maximum. So that's basically when we start seeing, an idea, some kind of concept of an afterlife, of an eternity. When we get into, so a lot of Christians seem to think Sheol is hell. It is not. That's kind of where the Catholics stole their idea of purgatory from, though, but it's still not the same thing as purgatory. And then when we get into the New Testament, there are so many verses about hell. But the funny thing is, it's actually Jesus talking about an actual place on earth right outside of Jerusalem that used to be a garbage dump, Gehenna. And, when it talks about cremation and stuff, burning of the bodies, like it literally was the lowest of the low would get thrown out there and they'd become nothing, right? And then a lot of people don't realize is Jesus, being Jewish, would not have this concept of hell like we do today. When we get into Revelation, like we are looking at heavily Hellenized Judaism. So, the fire lake, we're looking at volcano imagery, which many different cultures worship volcanoes. A volcano pops up, oh, God must be pissed, right? And we see evidence in this within Pompeii. We also see a lot more fiery imagery, which is very reminiscent of the Greek Tartarus, but only the most heinous of individuals go there. So it was never a part of, hell was never part of the religion. Even in Jesus's time, it was just more imagery to basically say you are shit and you will unalive as shit and you will turn to shit. So there's the existence of hell, it just doesn't exist. Then you get other Christians that say, well, it's a separation from God. Well, atheist pagans, we all live separate from this God and we're doing just fine. And then, you know, you get the other Christians, well, hell is when you just cease to exist. Well, isn't that kind of what the atheists want anyway? So what do you mean?
Right.
Like, they're not going to exist anymore. What do they care? So, I mean, I don't even think Christians really have a concept of what they think hell is, because it's not a thing. It just doesn't exist. And that is the short-term answer version.
Yeah, kind of like the agnostic thing, you know, like in a way, like since it's not clearly defined, like why how could you even say it exists, you know?
You're right, because we do get a lot of Christians just coming up on lives that have different definitions of what hell is. I mean,
because they don't know, because it's not
that damn Holy Spirit giving different messages to different people.
Right. Starting to think the Holy Spirit is a trickster spirit, to be honest.
What does your mug say? I want to see your mug.
Oh, Birds of Prey. It's my Harley Quinn mug.
Cool.
The handle is her mallet.
Oh my God, how cute. I like it.
That is
Ty here.
Hey.
Welcome.
What's up, guys? Hey, Tyler. Glad to be here. Hey, so I have a burning question for Nick, and this is not Bible or God related, but it is a burning question. So
you might want to get an ointment for that, but continue.
Oh, thank you. There we go. Oh, I don't need to be up here anymore. No, I'm just kidding. So the only experience I have with Canada is I went to Niagara Falls for a few days, like years and years ago. And I was just kind of wondering, especially, you know, with how things are in the United States, maybe I want to go take a nice extended vacation in Canada. But anyways, what would you say is like the one thing that if somebody was going to Canada, you'd be like, oh my gosh, you have to do this? Like, what is your must see, must do? If that's too like broad, you can narrow it down, but just curious what your input would be.
So I'm not sure as much as far as the East goes. I've never been that way. I know, you know, you get stuff like the Niagara Falls and that, but, you know, over in the West, we have such beautiful territory up here. You know, we've got Jasper, Alberta, which is just phenomenal, and you can go horseback riding, you get to climb mountains, we've got an actual desert. This shocks a lot of people in Alberta, and it's known as the Badlands, the Drumheller, where you get to go on actual dinosaur digs. And we have the Royal Tyrrell Dino Museum, which is absolutely massive. And then you get into BC territory, where it's just mountains and tree ranges, and it's just such gorgeous country. So if you love the outdoors, you love museums, you love stuff like the horseback riding, you like dinosaurs, you like all that kind of stuff, that's the type of things that I would definitely recommend doing.
First of all, I don't know how you knew exactly what to tell me, because that is perfect. I am such an outdoorsy person. Hiking, like all that stuff is right up my alley. I was kind of shocked to hear that Canada has desert and mountains. Geography was never my thing, so I did not know that. But my wife I saw her sneak in live here, and so she will be really excited to know about the dinosaur thing. She has an obsession with dinosaurs. She has like 40 tattooed on herself. That's dramatic. There's like 5, I don't know. But she would love that.
Cool.
She really would. So that is so cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, the Royal, you can look it up online too, and just look at the Google pictures. It's phenomenal. It's called the Royal Tyrrell Museum. And it's massive. It's massive. And like I said, you can go on actual dinosaur digs. It'll cost you a bit, but it's definitely worth it. They've got the giant drawstring bridge, or whatever you call them, rope bridge. There we go, not drawstring. Rope bridge. They got the giant rope bridge there.
Drawstring holding up some gray sweatpants.
Yeah, some transplants. Yeah, no, Alberta is so diverse. We've got forest, we've got mountains, and we have a desert all rolled into one province. It's Alberta is just phenomenal if you can get past the maple megas. But anyways, that's a different story. But it is, yeah, lots to see and do here. You'll never get bored.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Have the megas like been changing their like thoughts lately because of all the craziness?
That's a good question.
The problem with the maple megas is they are fueled by conspiracy theories. So it's not that they're actually fans of Trump, it's that they think him and Putin are going to save the world against reptilians.
That would be the people that are MAGAs. That totally tracks.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, I know Benny likes to make it all about him. But before we go back into Benny's questions, I just wanted to say thank you for helping us plan our Canada trip. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Sounds amazing. But I'm going to go ahead and jump down. I adore all of you, but I'm not getting trapped into divine or decline.
You better get back up here for divine or decline.
You better be up here.
You better come up here for divine or decline.
I look forward to
be sending you so many requests to get up here.
Where did you run to? I don't know how to sing that song like Joel does, but
Okay, Nick. I got another question. So I love to eat. What is your favorite Canadian food and something easy that we can make here in the States?
Poutine.
Poutine. I was just gonna say poutine.
So you take your French fries, you cook them the way however you like cooking your French fries, and then you shred a whole bunch of cheese over top. Most people, their correct way is to use cheese curds, but honestly, shredded cheese all the way. And you put that on, and then you smother.
What flavor of shredded cheese? Are we talking cheddar? Are we talking mozzarella? What are we talking?
Whatever.
What are we talking?
Whatever.
But what do you like? I need to know what you like.
Me. I like marbles, so I like a mix of cheddar and mozzarella.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And then what?
Go on.
And then you just smother it in gravy, and then stuff your face.
Is it brown gravy?
Yep.
Brown gravy.
Okay, that sounds really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Is like the
You
best.
can put like fixings and stuff in it too. Like you could like put like meat if you wanted, but then it kind of like turns into more of like a casserole. But
an individual plate casserole. Yep. Yeah. No, you
But doesn't
can have some fun with them.
Doesn't it like make the fries soggy though?
No, because honestly, you shovel that in so darn fast, you're going for seconds before they get soggy.
I don't know.
Do you never have smothered fry? Like, okay, see in California. Listen. In California,
you can get them. You can get them, but like it just
Mexican style.
It gets soggy, so I have to do
no. Listen, carne asada smothered fries from a little taco shop somewhere in Southern California is the best damn thing. There is the child support.
Definitely not enough. You are way too behind.
I am his pastor bringing up the child support. Oh my God, that's the best.
Shouting that. Oh my God.
That is awesome. I love you. I am his pastor. Well, I know we have a love-hate relationship, but you know what I'm saying.
That just doesn't seem like enough, though. I'm not going to lie. For all of this time that you've missed, I am his pastor? Really?
Yeah, all of the babies.
All of the babies.
All the babies.
For your sister, Mama.
If you don't know
Pastor,
the Lord,
go on live. Take up a collection and come back.
DC, do you have a question for Nick? I paid what I paid, he said. That's it. You ain't getting no more.
Yeah, I do actually. I have a question for Nate. Thanks for having me up. Sorry, I forgot I was mute. So I was talking away.
That's okay.
Uh,
I've done that. I'm like, why
I'm
aren't
like
they
going back
responding
and
to me? I'm talking.
yes. I'm going back and forth from cooking and like listening. So, but I wanted to jump in and ask real quick. So, remember when we were listening to the pastor in the Southern Baptist Church in Dallas, and he was talking about Trump being the Antichrist,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying that the Antichrist actually has a Trinity,
Oh, yeah.
and
I
you were
remember
saying
that
that
too.
Nick commented on that video, that little short that I put up, and she said, they said that the pastor wasn't too far off. Like there is a Trinity of some sort.
Yeah.
And so I was going to ask you, I thought this was a perfect opportunity to bring it up. I know it's been almost a year ago, but I was wondering if you could expand on that.
Yeah, the whole unholy trinity is actually Satan, the Antichrist, and the false prophet. They all work hand in hand together, just as God, the Father, Satan, the Father, the Son, the Antichrist, and the false prophet works as the same way as the Holy Spirit, but casts, a veil of deceit over everybody, right? Is very manipulative, sharp-tongued. So he plays the role uh, of the Holy Spirit. So that's the unholy Trinity, and they work together for a common cause, to where God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit work to create the world and fix the world. They assume the role of breaking it and destroying it. This, of course, comes from basically Revelation type stuff that was very misconstrued. But yes, that is the belief in evangelistic circles.
Very interesting.
Super cool.
We
And so,
were very much taught to fear the unholy Trinity.
Wow. I had never heard of the unholy Trinity.
now, is there anything else? I know that you are studying Revelation on an academic level, and that's one of the things that you're going to specialize in. And I'm wondering if you have noticed something like the end times as well. So like the Trinity, the unholy Trinity, that maybe not a lot of people know. Is there anything like that in Revelations that maybe on an academic level people know, but normal people that haven't studied it that close probably wouldn't know? Does that make any sense?
There is a part in Revelation, and I gotta go try and look it up where it is. I'll have to find it for you for another day. But after this supposed biblical end of days, there are other nations that come to Jerusalem where the new temple is built and stuff to trade and barter with the Jewish people and their God, which is really wild, because if the world was erased, then how the hell are these people borrowing and trading? And so it very much just tells you right then and there, whatever it's specifically talking about was one specific place on the planet, not the wipeout of the entirety of the world. That one's a really interesting one. Of course, unfortunately, these people only read these texts through the lines that their pastors are giving them, where they have superimposed the Antichrist, just like they superimposed Jesus into the Old Testament. They superimpose the Antichrist into many different texts where he is just not. There is no Antichrist. The only time he's mentioned is in the books of John, and it's only 3 times, and it's not talking about one specific person. It's talking about basically anyone who denies the Son and the Father is an Antichrist. So a lot of the fear that they have in this Antichrist within the book of Revelation, he's not there. It's not part of Revelation at all.
Oh, yeah.
You have a question in chat from Hanji, and it doesn't have to do with the Antichrist, but I'm gonna read it to you anyway. It says, "Who's more Canadian, Alberta or Quebec?"
Alberta, Quebec is finally starting to get their shit together. I didn't believe in miracles until Trump somehow had Quebec actually unite with Canada, and that would only be something that would take a miracle to do. So he might actually have some superpowers. It's kind of interesting to see Canada united. The most Canadian, I would have to say, the most Canadian provinces I would have to say is Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, though. That's about as Canadian as you can get, eh?
Thank you for the compliments on my glasses. I get a lot of compliments on them. If you go to my channel on the Discord, I actually put a link to them because they're just reading glasses from Amazon. So anybody can get them. They're very inexpensive, but I like them. And for some reason, I haven't lost them. I usually buy a 6-pack of glasses because I lose them, and I haven't lost these yet. So lucky
You've
me.
been asked that in at least like 2 or 3 Q&As at this point. Everyone loves their glasses. There was also another question in the chat that said, "Are there any other like unholy trinities that you're aware of?"
No, none that I'm aware of. Nothing short of what you see in like horror movies. But yeah, specifically the belief system that there as above, so below. If there is a holy trinity, there has to be an unholy trinity. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Satan the Father, the Antichrist, and the false prophet.
What about isn't there like the witch, the maid, the hag, and I can't remember how it goes.
Oh, Mother, Maiden, Crone?
Yes, the Meg and the hag.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a unholy trinity though, but yeah, there's many different trinity types, but yeah.
We got to come up with a name for our trinity of Benny, Crystal, and Liz, as we're the 3 admins of the Junction.
We should. We are the unholy trinity at the Junction.
Oh yeah.
Hey, T-Rock, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Over 40.
Okay, did you have a question for Nick?
I did want to give a little bit of a pushback on the Trinity thing, the unholy Trinity.
We're not debating up here right now. This is a Q&A for NickGraves today. So that's what the Q&A is for. I feature special creators, and we have them come up, and we talk to them. So it's not a debate. But thanks for coming up. We appreciate you.
But T-Rock, I go live on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You're more than welcome to come in and push back, and we can chat about it. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. So you can come on in and have a chat.
Pax Under Construction has a question for you. It says, if Nick could make any change to the way she was raised, what would she choose?
Everything. What would a traumatized child change about her upbringing? Yeah. You know, if I could actually change something, I wouldn't have been brought up in a Christian household. But then again, if I could change anything, I wouldn't have been born in Canada either. Would have liked to have been born in, it could have been Norway, Sweden, Denmark, any of those countries, to be honest. But yeah, if I didn't have a foundation of Christianity, racism, and bigotry, I probably would have gone a lot farther than I did sooner. Set me up for a lot of bullshit. I used to be a very, very, very hateful, horrific person. A lot of people don't believe me when I say this shit, but I was horrific, and a lot of regrets. But it's about learning, growing, moving on, becoming a better person.
That actually brings me to like a question I wanted to ask you. I already know the story, and I'm sure that some people do that are here. But for the people that don't, there was a story about your upbringing that the drills. I don't remember what you called. I feel like, yeah.
Okay, before you get into the story of the drills, I just need to do a commercial real quick. You guys, I've been live for almost an hour and a half, and we're not even at 50,000 likes. I know there's 28 of you, but if you start tapping on the screen, we can get to 50,000 likes. I'm about halfway to my gift goal, and they're only 1 coin each. Can we smash that gift goal in the next 15, 20 minutes? And don't forget, I only need a few more subbies to hit that magic number of 50. So if you haven't subscribed, it's less than a cup of coffee a month. I'm bringing you all the best creators on Decon Q&A and CrystalJae, and I even just gave you a theme song today. I mean, I don't know what else you want from me, people. No. And Liz is going to help me come up with some amazing ideas for our subscriber onlys, and so that you guys feel that you're getting some extra benefit for your subscription. But I'd really appreciate it if you haven't subscribed, think of doing so today. Make sure you're sharing out the live. And I have one person over on YouTube, and for you, I want to thank you for being there. I really appreciate it. We're going to figure out why my YouTube isn't getting pushed out, but thank you so much. But if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, the link is in my bio, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to support the live, there are links in my bio to do so. But don't forget, gift my beautiful friends here, because every time you gift even 1 coin to anybody up here, it helps push us out into the algorithm. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I know very well there's somebody else live right now that you might be kind of like, I see Joyful going back and forth. I see him. He doesn't think I see it.
I see him too. Don't worry.
But I'm glad you're here with me today, and Nick and Benny and Liz and JD. So stick with us. But I'm sorry. Go ahead and answer that, Nick, and then I have more questions in chat for you.
Okay, so this is really quickly becoming a fan favorite of people, is the Antichrist drills. Okay, so hi, childhood trauma.
What? You had Antichrist drills? Okay,
Yes.
I'm just going to say this again. If you haven't heard me say this before, Nick, Pentecostal and Methodists are on the opposite spectrums of what it is to be a Christian, okay? Like, we were the most boring Christians ever. We didn't have no speaking in tongues. There was no playing with snakes, no Antichrist drills for damn sure, okay? We had, little they brought us, I'm not shitting you, okay? Often they brought us the little wine and the cracker. We didn't even have to get out of our seats. They just brought it to us. And they would say, here, pass it down. And you would take one and pass it down. Very boring compared. So tell me about these Antichrist drills. I need to know.
Trigger warning, by the way. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. So with us Pentecostals, the biblical end of days, the Antichrist, all of that fun stuff is beaten into our heads since infancy, right? So we had what was known as the Antichrist drills, and we did these by a youth group of all places. So we're in the basement of the church in one of the little Sunday school rooms, and the lights are all out, and all we have is candles. And we're doing Bible study by a candlelight because we're pretending the Antichrist has taken over, and now we as Christians have to go into hiding to do our Bible studies because it's illegal and we will be unalived. We are children, keep this in mind. So anyways, you would hear thumping, so then we would blow out all the candles and we'll be really, really quiet. And when the thumping would stop, we would light the candles again and continue on. Well, all of a sudden you hear this like stampede going through upstairs, and it sounded like a bunch of elephants coming down the stairs. The next thing you know, the door's being ripped open. There are a bunch of the elders from the church, men, all men, by the way, are dragging us out of this room, lining us up on our knees, and placing a Bible in front of every one of us, one at a time, and they tell us to spit on the Bible or be unalived. And they would hold their hands up to your head as if in a pew-pew shape. And if you said no, they would yell bang in your face, and you were to drop over and pretend you were unalived and wait for everybody to go through. The youngest kid in our youth group was 12 and the oldest was 17. I was 13 when.
Oh my God, how sad. That is so screwed up. Marjorie, can I get your age for TikTok purposes? You have to unmute. I muted you because you had some background noise. I'll send you an invite. There you go. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I'm in my 40s.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to ask a question from chat and then you can talk. Ursula said, was there anything good you took away from Christianity?
The once a month potluck lunches. Phenomenal eating. 10 out of 10 would recommend. That's about it. Other than that, I took away PTSD and anxiety. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Marjorie, did you have a question for Nick today?
Oh, are you Nick?
I'm Nick.
No, Nick is who we're doing the Q&A with today. Did you have a question for me?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm not sure why you came up on my FYP. Have you been on like Thinkers Lives or Fluff or
I've been on Thinkers Lives before,
Okay.
and Christina's lives, and
Okay,
Ria's.
awesome. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. That's exciting to know.
Oh, well, hopefully you'll follow me because Thinker's going to be on my show, Decon Q&A with CrystalJae, in the next couple of weeks here. So
Awesome.
we haven't nailed down a date yet, but she will be joining me.
No,
And El
followed you
Oso,
today.
if you know who El Oso is, he's going to be on this week.
Awesome. I just followed you today. I didn't know why you came up on my FIP, but I just followed you today because I was like hearing like a lot of what you're saying, and I'm like, I'm right in agreement. I'm a friendly. I don't know if this is allowed or not. If I'm not allowed, then you can boo me.
Well, today what we're doing is talking to NickGraves. NickGraves is also another deconstruction creator here on TikTok, and her specialty is Satan, hell, paganism. She's a biblical academic. So if you had questions about any of those, you can ask her. If not, I'll drop you down into chat and you can go ahead and listen, but we're just asking her questions today. And we kind of pick one creator, do a show with them, and ask them questions and pick their brains.
Okay, let me ask my question, and then you can let me know if that fits within your criteria.
Okay.
I'm 47. I deconstructed when I was like 19, 20, 21, and the last time I went to church when I was like 21. But of course, I was in a very tight-knit community, and you know, like when your whole identities are wrapped around this community, it's very hard to break away, because then you're like, where are my friends and family? Where are they? They're not with me, you know. But one of the most interesting questions that I've received from my sister, who also deconstructed when she was like 14, 15, was so now that you've deconstructed, what are you? And that's sort of the question that I have now, and it's been hard for me 30 years later to kind of answer that question, because I don't feel like I'm anything, but I'm sort of now exploring in things like secular humanism and things like that. But I'm just curious for you, like, do you have a need to, okay, now that you deconstructed from like religion, like, do you have something else that fills that void? Is it necessary even? You know, because for many years I was like, oh, I don't have anything else. You know what I mean? So like, that's my question.
I think, and I'll let Nick answer this too. I'll answer you, and then I'll have Nick answer you. But one, I did have a very strong need to fill the void of community, even though I had been deconstructed for a while. I didn't realize truly how much I needed that, and that I had missed the church community, not so much the belief, but I missed the community. And eventually I met Benny right here, and he started a Discord group called the Deconstruction Junction. Thinker, El Oso, Christina, Carol, Ria, they're all a part of it. And so if you want to join our community, it's absolutely free. We just hang out in there, talk. You get to see when anybody goes live, and there's resources in there. There's all kinds of, you know, things like tomorrow, I think we're going to be doing Saturday shenanigans. And if I'm not mistaken, the shenanigans are going to be, we're all going to meet and talk about old church gossip from back tell everybody what the gossip was in our church, but the link's in my bio, and so you're more than welcome to join. But I did need that, but I didn't need to call myself something like, now that I'm not a Christian, what am I? I did realize one day I was an atheist, but then it also just didn't seem to fit 100% because it wasn't just that I didn't believe in God. So one day somebody told me about agnosticism with an I, and agnosticism is basically saying that there is really no definition of what a God is because it's so individual. Everybody has a different concept. Some people literally can worship inanimate objects and call them a god, while others believe it's a white man with a beard in the sky. And so for me, I don't think we've defined what a god is. So for me, there's no point in believing in one until we can define it. So I am an atheist. And if you've ever listened to Bash on Thinkers Live, he is also an atheist. He's one of the people who helped me understand what it was. So agnosticism, yes, that is what I am. But Nick, what about you? Did you feel that there was a need to was that why you became pagan, or like what was it for you?
So when I came out of Christianity, I was very bitter and angry. I had just lost my entire community. I came to the realization that everything I thought I knew since childhood was a lie. My world caved in, and after that, I actually really just wanted to be alone. That void, that hole was filled with rage. So at first, I didn't feel like I needed to fill the void with anything specifically, until, I started doing these lives about 4 years ago. Even then, I was still pretty angry. Even myself today, in comparison to 2 years ago, totally different. I've calmed down a lot. But the community has really helped because it lets me know that I am not alone. Now, my spiritual path came more from the fact that when you are of a certain cultural background and you find out that Christianity literally stole that from you, that the fact that I will never know my ancestors or the actual stories of my gods because it's all heavily Christianized. So I wanted to go back to more of an ancestral take on spirituality rather than a god one. Do I have gods? Yes, but I have a very different view of what the gods of this earth are, and that was stories of kings and queens and hunters and leaders of thousands of years ago, and their stories became myth, became legend, became gods. I very much believe that they were human, just like the rest of us. So it's not that it didn't really fill a void, but it's been something I've been searching for, is to find out who I actually am, ancestrally, genetically, because that was ripped away on both sides of my family, the Norwegian and the Irish side. So yeah, I wouldn't say that switching to a different religion, because that came years later. That it didn't fill a void. It's more just connecting with my ancestry. So
I get that.
I really appreciate for you with you that you shared that. I'm just curious to know that like is there any part of you that feels like you had to choose something because it's like everybody is something, you know what I mean? So it's like if someone who's a little bit more progressive that have these hard beliefs, you know, in religion or things like that, they come to you and they say like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but like what is it that you feel? Like do you feel what is it that you feel if you don't have that? Do you find a heavy, I don't know if I'm making sense, but like is there a
Okay,
need?
I'm sorry, Marjorie. Can you hang on a second? Subhand, I am muting you because background noise makes it so we can't hear the person talking. You'll get a chance in a minute. I will ask you your age and then I'll talk to you. But please stay muted while other people are talking. Okay? Thank you, Marjorie. Go ahead. I apologize.
No worries at all. The only thing I can kind of grab to is like, you know, like we have these roles that we fill, and like for example, like you're either a Democrat or Republican. There's nothing in between. You know, like
We're centrists. We exist.
we exist.
Yeah, we exist. We're called centrists.
Is there anything that you feel like you like in order to communicate with other people that you have to say, I'm this, whatever it is?
No,
Because no, okay, all right, okay.
no, I don't. I never feel like I have to title myself in order to talk to other people. You know, I kind of only share what was asked of me. You know, or it comes up in conversations where, you know, somebody will go, well, I can't figure out why anybody would have a belief in God. And that's when I would chime up and say, you know, it's actually human nature to have supernatural beliefs, believe it or not. It's in our genetics. We've been doing it for thousands of years. It's just, it comes naturally to want to, and let's face it, we live in such a mundane 9 to 5 world that we, you know, creating or believing in something of other worlds or gods or this and that and the other thing, it makes it more bearable at the end of the day. But you know, no, I've never had to identify myself as anything in order to speak to people. I just speak as myself.
And you know, I have to agree with Benny. Benny said secular humanist is a good epistemology. And I agree. I'm an atheist, a secular humanist. I don't need that title. It just happens to describe what I am. But
Yeah.
you don't have to be anything but yourself. That is all you have to be. Don't let somebody try to put you into some kind of box you don't fit in. Hang on one second. I'm Subhand. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 40 years old.
Okay, did you have a question for Nick today?
Who is Nick?
Okay, so today is Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. My guest is NickGraves. She's an academic of the Bible and also world religions, paganism. Her specialty is Satan and hell. And so we're talking to her today. Was there a reason why you came up on a panel that you didn't know what was going on?
Yeah, you know what? I saw a Decon Q&A and I thought this live was about. Do you guys know Decon, like that rat poison? I was like having some trouble with some rats in my barn, and I'm like wondering why they're talking about religion.
Oh my God, I love that. That is awesome.
I'm so
No, we're
sorry.
talking.
That's what I was
That's
So
okay.
funny.
That is awesome.
I'm
To be
trying
fair,
get
we
rid
can
of some
talk
of
about
these
Jim
rats in my
Jones a lot, so
barn,
I can see how it
and
works.
I was like trying to get, and it's not working. So I'm like, I keep buying Decon, and I'm like, why isn't this working? And
Okay, I do have something for you though. You came to the right one. Okay, first of all, don't use Decon. To all my listeners, don't use Decon because if a rat is poisoned and another animal like a owl eats it, you will kill the owl too. And we don't want to kill our other wildlife. Instead, and if you DM me afterwards, I will get you a link or something so you can go. There are these buckets, you put water in it, and it traps the rats in there, kills them, and it doesn't kill other animals, or unalives them, and it doesn't unalive other animals, and it works. We use it because I live in an orchard, and if you know anything about orchards, there are vermin. They're called roof rats. And the way we take care of them is through a bucket.
Yeah, I have rats. I've got a whole farm. I've got horses. I got some barn cats because someone told me that was gonna help me. And then someone said try Decon, and I said sure, and I went and bought a bunch of it. And I see a live that says Decon Q&A, so I thought maybe you guys know about Decon. Okay, well,
that is hilarious. Just message me later, and I'll get you that. But thanks for coming up, and that was hilarious, and that was a laugh I needed for today.
Seriously,
Sure.
it's like I hope you know that you are probably going to be talked about for years to come in the deconstruction community, because that was absolutely amazing.
Oh my God, I'm clipping that. Are you kidding me? That is just the best.
And if you're still listening, hold on. If you're still listening, I used to live on a farm. Put us some outhouses.
Oh,
outhouses can take care of them too. And those buckets are really easy DIYs.
They really are. They're very easy, and they work, and they're much safer for all your other animals, because that unfortunately does happen when people use Decon. You lose a lot of wildlife in the area. Lala, it's good to see you again. Lala was up earlier with Joyful. Did you have a question for Nick?
I don't know. I was just like thinking about the things that you all said on the panel later.
Did you have any questions about what we said earlier?
No, it's kind of hard because I feel good in how I practice my faith, now. And I know that I'm kind of ignorant just to protect my heart also with things that are happening in the world. I don't have like a pro-Pali or pro-Israel or this or that. I just stay away from all of it. Yeah, I don't know actually. I just don't know, because I'm good in. I feel good, but I don't know if it's good to be ignorant and living in my own land.
Hang around with us a little bit. You'll find you followed a few of us, so you'll find us when we're on. And yeah, just hang around. You'll learn.
Let me give a little breakdown for everybody. Lala was with us on Joyful's Live earlier. As we were talking, Lala started realizing that she's not really believing everything that's in the Bible, doesn't even really like everything that's in the Bible, but she's very happy with her faith in Jesus, and she knows that sounds, like she's having some willful ignorance, so she's following some of us, learning from us, and figuring out. I personally believe that, as you guys know, I believe it's okay to believe in a God. Just this Abrahamic God is not it. He is not the God. And you can love and feel good about your God, but this God, he's not it. Well, Lala, I'm going to drop you back down. Just go ahead and hang out in the chat. Listen to us. We're going to be talking about a lot of things Bible, a lot of things about Satan, about hell, and things like that. If you have questions, you can ask them in chat or come back up. Hey, Granny, how are you?
Can I say something to Margaret real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I think what you need to find is a good community where you fit in. Because I think we put labels on ourselves to be a part of a community. And I'm with Crystal. That was the biggest thing, that when I left the church, I left the community, and that was everybody I knew. So you just need to find a good community that you fit in with like-minded people. And don't have to put labels on yourself. Just be you.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was gonna piggyback real quick and say, if you were kind of inquiring to what is the big answer, or what is your big kind of what, now that you don't have God as the ultimate answer anymore or something, what do you use? And I think science is a really exciting one. I think the fact that the universe is this massive, kind of big question mark is really exciting, and that we don't know everything, and we are getting and learning things like with technology as it goes on, and it all seems to make sense, you know. I mean, there's some things where I'm like, okay, yeah, what did start the universe, if it started, or like what created the Big Bang, or is the universe eternal? But like as far as that kind of stuff, I like I lean on science, and like secular humanism is a great way to like kind of base your morality.
For me, it's history.
Absolutely.
Because my brain can't.
That's
As much as I love science, science is so freaking cool. Like Bill Nye says, science rules. My brain can, however, comprehend history. So I am a huge history buff. I've always got my head shoved in a book or 6 at one time. Educate.
Absolutely.
Learn.
Oh yeah, academics. That's a good one. Like always learning. Like that's another good way to like kind of fill is to like just. I love that. I love learning something new. I love like going and like just digging into like Wikipedia, stuff like that.
Wait, you guys, before Lala leaves, because I don't want Lala to leave, did you have any advice for Lala, Nick? Because I don't want Lala to leave before I ask that.
If you're deconstructing the Bible, do it slowly and start from the beginning. I know in Christianity they tell you to start with the New Testament, then go to the Old, because that's so you can insert Jesus into the Old Testament where he isn't. When you're deconstructioning, do it correctly. Start with the beginning and work your way to the back, and that's when you realize the math doesn't math. Take it day by day. Reach out to people to discuss things, to learn things. Find yourself a couple of rabbis to explain Old Testament stuff to you.
Collect some rabbis.
Put them in your back pocket, have them available for reference.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, look, Rabbi Hannah said,
Rabbi Hannah could fit in my pocket. I think it could happen.
But remember, the biggest thing about deconstructing, and this is for all 35 of you glorious bastards in here, okay? You don't have to do it alone. Okay, when we did it, we were alone. And this is why we do what we do every day, so nobody has to go through it alone. It is mentally, physically, even damaging coming out of this religion. Even just coming out of the dogma aspect, keeping your faith in Jesus, but coming out of the dogmatic bullshit that they teach can be overwhelming and a lot. And always reach out. You have a community.
Absolutely. Hey, Granny, did you have a question for Nick?
No, I just had a general question for my deconstruction community. Why didn't anybody tell me about this bishop that got pimp slapped? Why didn't you guys tell me about this? In New Jersey, sometime, I don't know how long ago, but I just saw this video and I posted it, but I was like, why didn't anybody tell me about this incident?
Because I frankly didn't know, so you're telling me.
The bishop,
I'm going to have to go check out your video.
A real-life bishop, the pimp walked into the church and assaulted him for non-payment.
Wow.
We're going to have to be looking this up after this.
I did not know about that.
You're going to have to go look. I'm like, really?
I thought you were talking about
back in 2017 already. That's why none of us heard of it.
Oh.
Hey, listen, I need to go use the powder room. Can you all talk amongst yourselves? Behave now. Try to get my gift goal and my subby goal up, okay? All right, I'll be right back.
He wants us to behave.
Oh, wait, I got to mute myself.
I have questions for Nick.
Mute.
Liz and I have questions for Nick. I don't know. Liz, you should go first, though.
Oh gosh, which one should I do that Crystal doesn't necessarily need to be here for?
Mine are like silly questions. Mine are like.
Why don't you go ahead? Why don't you go ahead?
Okay, Nick.
Well, the answer is 9 inches, but anyways, continue.
Yes, but what about the girth? Tell us about the girth.
Suppository size. Okay, gotcha. Favorite god or goddess? It doesn't have to be like your, like you can make
Yeah.
it like yours, but like just most interesting or whatever.
I like any god that has to do with the seeking of knowledge and wisdom. Odin, Ganesh, uh, you know, uh, gods and goddesses like that. There's an owl demon too. I can't remember what his name is, but he is also like the demon of knowledge and wisdom. He's like not bad. He's just so any god deity that would have anything to do with the seeking of and gaining of knowledge and wisdom has a big A+ in my book.
I love that. You actually answered my second question, which was favorite demon. Unless you have a different demon that is more of your favorite.
Okay, Asmodeus. Hear me out. This fucker. The only time you ever hear of this creature mentioned is in the Apocrypha, and
it's a Book of Tobit, isn't it? Or
yes, Tobit, also known as the Book of Incest. He consistently unalives this woman's husbands, like one after another, but he waits until the wedding night to do it, which kind of makes it really, really funny, because after like the 5th time, you've got to be shitting me at this point. I don't know why that always struck me funny, but it did. But yeah, I think it's Stolas is the demon of wisdom, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think those would have to be the top 2.
I'm not sure if you're like, I know we've discussed tarot cards, but I was going to ask you if you had a favorite tarot card.
My Crow deck is my pride and joy. I use that tarot deck for everything, and it's always going to be the Hangman.
The Hangman. Oh, I love that. Good answer. Okay, that was what I had.
Get a tattoo, the Hangman, but it's primarily because it reminds me of Odin. He is also he's also known as the Hanged One.
I love the Hangman's like just content face of like they know something and like they're just hanging by one foot, and like it's just a really interesting card.
It is. Yeah, the Hangman will forever be my favorite.
Hi, Gary. Oh, Darth popped in. I decided to say hi, you guys.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, Gary, unblock me.
Hey, Mezzo's dad. Mezzo misses you.
That's hilarious.
Nick, I have a question. The people are demanding answers. Why is it that every place that we go, that you let people know not to mod up Chaos Engine?
See, okay, here's the thing. Chaos is playing around a Pokemon with the creators on this app, alright? He's got to catch them all. And the thing is he thinks it's because it's going to protect him from me, because one of these days...
Thank you!
One of these days, I am eventually going to block him, and he knows his time is coming, and so he's trying to get modded up where he can, so he's well protected.
Interesting. I will let you know if there are any follow-up questions that come my way. On a more serious note, I do have another question. What drew you specifically to say that that you specialize in these topics like hell, Satan, Antichrist, end of days? Like, what drew you to that?
So it was the fact that it was beaten into our minds, in evangelistic circles. For me, it was Pentecost. Okay, so I was Pentecostal, but I was baptized evangel right? So I had two of the psychos in my blood system going. But because it was so drilled into our head, that dogma, that fear, I wanted to not erase it, but take it and mold it into something good. So to educate people so nobody has to live in that fear like that ever again. I don't believe in talking to other people's kids, as you guys are well aware. I refuse to talk to anybody under 21. But I do sometimes hope that teenage Christians are listening to me when I say these things, when I go through Antichrist, biblical, and a days who Satan actually is, the fact that hell doesn't exist, so these teenagers do not have to be raised up in that type of fear. So that's why the drive and what I do, and why my research is where it is, so nobody else has to end up like me, which is batshit insane, full of PTSD and anxiety.
Well, while we have just a little breather here, I want to thank everybody for helping me with the gift goal and for the new gifts. I'm going to keep reminding you because I really, really want to hit the 50 subbies. So if you haven't subscribed, it's less than a cup of coffee a month. And I'm going to tell you who I'm bringing to you right now. Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to have Sam. Now, when I say Sam, sometimes people are like, Sam who? If you watch Joel and Mezzo, that's the Sam I'm talking about. We're going to have Sam live on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And later on that day at 3 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to have Life Beyond Belief, Christina and Ken. They're an amazing couple. They used to be... what do you call music leaders? Worship leaders? Their story is amazing. They're an amazing couple. They're talented and so smart. Like, you have got to join me for that live. Then we have on April 11th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, El Oso Ray will be with me. So I'm really excited about that. And it looks like my inbox is full. So I'm thinking that hopefully that means I'm getting some more people coming your way. I have to look at those later and start booking dates with some other creators. I know Thinker is coming up soon, and there are other creators on the list that I need to get back to. I think I'm going to be working with African Atheist. I'd like to talk, Spencer wants to get with me, and there's many more. There's so many more, so many, because we have an amazing group of creators on this app. So make sure you're following me. Hi, Tux. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do so. It's absolutely free, and I need to get to 500 subs. I would love to get Dr. Blitz, but I personally don't know Dr. Blitz. But if somebody wants to go, put in a little word for me, I would love Dr. Blitz or Ian. I'm going to see if maybe Sam could talk to Ian for me. But anyway, Daniel, I have reached out to Daniel. The problem with my friend Daniel is that he doesn't check his messages. He never checks his messages. So, but I am trying to get Daniel, and I think that will happen once we actually connect. That's been the biggest problem there. So, so make sure you're following and doing all the good stuff. Fluff is another one on my list. There's just so many good creators. You would, Jack, talk to Blitz for me. I would love that. And if you're a creator and you want to be on Decon Q&A with CrystalJae, just hit me up. My DMs are open, and I'd love for you to come up and answer all the questions like Nick is doing today on the hot seat. What else you guys got for Nick tonight?
I'm still, if I may speak, if you have anyone before me, please, put me down. Because I fully deconstructed. I never imagined that, like, 30 years later, that I would be here talking to people, talking about the Bible, and talking about these things that I've already deconstructed on for less You guys are very advanced. You guys talk about details in the Bible that I never even considered because I deconstructed on less. I'm not saying that that's better or by any way, but I'm just like the way that my mind worked. I deconstructed on less. Like for example, the idea that Eve was the responsible for the fall of humanity was too much for me. Like, you know, that it didn't work in my 18-year-old, 19-year-old brain. My question is, now that you've deconstructed, do you feel like the religion that you were in before, where there was a focus on like like gathering souls, protecting souls, preaching to souls, like do you feel like now that there is a similar goal that you have to protect souls, gather souls, and free them in
No,
any way?
it's so I have no. Okay, so two of my good friends, right, are actually archbishops, Archbishop Mark and Archbishop Campbell. I get along with them great because they don't live their lives, especially Archbishop Mark. They don't live their lives by dogma. They go off of actual historicity. Like Father Mark, he believes in evolution. He is not a science denier. So what it is more is it's not about saving souls or saving people. It's erasing the dogma and getting back to what the text actually says and start teaching it on a more accurate basis. You know, that's more what educating. That is my passion, that is my drive, is educating people. So it's not about saving souls. So much as I don't want to see people go through religious trauma anymore, especially as children. If Christianity it was the way that Archbishop Mark teaches it and shows it, we would not be having these lives or these conversations. And that's what I would like to see Christianity get to. It's never been at that point ever. In the over 2,000 years it's existed, it's always been violent. So by teaching people what the text actually says, getting rid of that dogma, getting rid of that fear, that tyranny, they could in fact actually have a peaceful religion. So it's not so much as saving people, it's protecting them, especially children, from trauma.
I'm not trying to
Marjorie, do you believe in souls still?
No. I'm
Oh,
fully
okay.
I'm fully atheist and I don't believe in
Okay.
souls. Yeah. And coming back into these lives now and realizing that no matter, even if I just deconstructed 30 years ago, like I never knew that I would be right now reading the Bible with many of you guys and pointing out a lot of these inconsistencies, because when I deconstructed on less, you know. But because I'm in a world where I'm submerged with people that are believers, I find myself finding it important to know what some of these things that people hold on to, and knowing how to deconstruct, help them like find the inconsistencies in those. But I'm just curious. I'm just trying to challenging the non-believers, because that's where I am at this point. Because I'm in a place where now I have people in my life that have deconstructed, but are believer of something, not really the Christian God, but of something. But they're like, okay, you've deconstructed, and like, so what is it that you believe in? So with those kinds of questions, I find that there's like an inherent belief for people to believe in something, you know, like there's something that you have to be able to tell someone, this is what I believe in, and for them to feel okay and be like, okay, all right, I hear what you're saying. So that's
I
what
don't feel like I need to make people feel okay anymore. I'm tired of making people feel comfortable. You know what? You make me feel, Christians specifically, they make me feel uncomfortable just existing. So if they can't handle it, that my non-belief bothers them and makes them feel uncomfortable, well then good. I don't care. Granny, you had something you wanted to ask Nick, though. What did you want to ask Nick?
Oh, of course, a motorcycle goes by. Hi, Nick. I was just wondering if you had heard of this book, Pagan Christianity, Exploring the Roots of Our Church Practices by Frank Viola and George Barna.
Oh, okay, that's not where I thought that was going. Okay. Because there are a very small group of individuals that call themselves Christian pagans, and it's like, no, that's
Oh,
not.
no, that's not what this book
I
is.
see. Yeah,
It's
Christianity
interesting.
does have heavily paganistic roots, right down to witchcraft. It's really interesting to look at it at a historical viewpoint. I mean, Christians, the early Christians, they practiced stuff like the ritualism, cultural ritualism, as well as amulet magic, even like the crosses. When you see them wearing crosses today, that's literally reminiscent of amulet magic. So yes, Christianity does hold very strong pagan roots. It was developed out of paganism. Pagan was a term that they took over, though the church took over to basically demonize anybody who was not a part of the faith. Which is funny because it's like, pot, kettle, pot.
Yeah.
I
Christianity
just find this book very interesting because it comes from a believer-centric standpoint, but they go through and they break it down really well. I was kind of surprised. It's like, oh, but they are more believer-centric. They still believe and they still want, but they said the same thing that you're saying, that we need to take the dogma out and decentralize, decenter that in our lives and, bring it back to the original. But yeah, everything you're just saying, that's why I was like, oh, I wonder if Nick knows about this book.
No, I don't, but like even rituals they have today, the eating of the flesh, the drinking of the blood, that's all ancient cultural ritualism. Everything about them is pagan. It's so funny.
Yeah, I specifically
Marjorie, sorry, you're fine. So the difference between my beliefs and Christian beliefs is when I was a Christian, I was living to die. Unalive, sorry. And in my more pagan spiritual beliefs now, I'm living to live. The afterlife is completely inconsequential. It doesn't matter where I end up. What matters is what I do on this earth while I am here. The whole point to being a pagan is being better than our gods / ancestors, leaving this world better than when we came into it, kicking and screaming. So my purpose is not spiritually based or based off my gods. My purpose in this world is what I decided my purpose was, and that is to be an educator. I don't necessarily could tell you if my gods called me to do it, or the ancestors called me to do it. I just know that this is my passion. I always wanted to be a teacher. We all make our own purpose in this world. Some people don't figure out that purpose until they're 80, and that is okay. Some people's purpose is just to live, and that is okay. You are your own purpose. The breath you breathe is your purpose, and
absolutely,
yeah, that's the difference.
I don't even remember. You know, days start to go into other days on these lives at times, so I don't remember when, but we were talking to a Christian, and he was talking about purpose, and when we were trying to tell him, like, that we make our own purpose or whatever, he was like, yeah, but no, that's not purpose or whatever. So finally I was like, what is your purpose? Like, what is your purpose? And he said, to go to heaven. I'm like, no, that's what happens to you when you unalive. What is your purpose? And he said, to repent. And, you know, and I'm like, no, that's not your purpose either. Like, that's just something you'll do while you're here. That's not a purpose, you know? And finally, I said, what is the definition that you are using for the word purpose? And he said, well, there's several definitions. I'm like, I know, that's why I'm asking you what yours is. And it was just like pulling teeth. And then people in chat got mad at me that I was getting upset, but it was driving me absolutely bonkers that they actually just make up definitions for every single word. What on earth? Purpose has a goddamn meaning. What is
words
your
don't mean words.
You know the rules, Crystal.
It was so irritating.
Do you think that a purpose, that's something that like the religious people have co-opted, or is that something like an internal human question that we ask?
No, a Christian.
Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. A Christian's purpose is completely different to the average human being. A Christian's purpose is God. That's it. That's their purpose, to unalive and worship God for the rest of eternity. That is their purpose. Whereas human purpose is just finding meaning in your life, in your day-to-day. And that's why I like to add the stuff like you just breathing is your purpose. Like, too many people put so much pressure on them to be something, to do something, to be great in something, you know, at the forefront of something, to rub shoulders against giants and this and that. No, breathing can be your purpose. Gardening could be your purpose. Just sitting there petting your cat watching reruns of Jeopardy can be your purpose. Like, people put too
good, because that's what I do. So that's good. Cookies? Can cookies be my purpose?
Yes, cookies can be your purpose.
Amen.
My purpose is collecting interesting people and reminding them they're awesome, and that is why I love WUG.
Absolutely. So, any other questions? Is there anybody in the comments that has questions, or on YouTube? Let me go check out YouTube real quick.
While you're
we did have some.
I did. I'm kind of sad that person, Archangel Metatron, left, unfortunately, before we got to talk to them. But they were talking about a lot of stuff that is actually Nick's specialty. And it reminded me that there was a question or a topic that Nick was hoping that maybe somebody would ask a question about. So I'm going to take that opportunity to throw that in here. When it comes to end of days and where we are in society today, and how, I mean, often, right, you will hear people talk about the end is coming, the end is coming. And now, with everything that's happened in the year of 2025, I feel like I'm seeing it around even more than ever. What is your response to that as somebody who studies end of days?
People are really scared right now, and they're looking for a rhyme or a reason as to why. And unfortunately, the dogmatic indoctrination of the church has given them that reason. So many people are up in arms right now thinking that we're headed to the uprising of the Antichrist. Many think that rump roast is, I'm sorry, but if Satan truly gave birth to a son that would be the Antichrist, I think he would pick something better than a freaking cheesy.
Wait, Ida. This God is kind of dumb. He's not the smartest God there ever has been. I think that's exactly who he picked because he's just as narcissistic as Yahweh and not as bright. I mean, like, they're just as bright as each other. They have the same intellect.
I gotta go with
I think
Crystal
it's
on this one. Yeah.
I think it's right on par.
It just they're looking for a rhyme and a reason, but the rhyme and the reason cannot be found in the Bible. It comes from history. And we are seeing in real time history repeat itself because I'm sorry, but humans are too stupid to learn. We were talking about this the other day in Who's Live, is where we always consistently asked, especially in school, how are people so dumb? How did they fall for Mustache Man's crap? Oh, never mind. Look, we're living it in real time right now. That's how. Yeah. And we also live under this mentality of, oh, never in my lifetime. That would never happen. Our governments would never. We've been such a permissive society for so long that we're bound to keep repeating history because we refuse to learn. Even when the entirety of the world is screaming at the USA right now, these mega Christians are not listening. They're literally going against the teachings of the Bible, and they're literally falling for the very thing that they taught us to watch out for. It's wild. It's wild.
There was another question in chat from Rabbi Hannah. She would like to know, who is Kaiser Soze?
A ruthless crime lord. the usual suspect.
I like Granny's. I like Granny's question here at the bottom that has to do with that topic. Maybe he only wants you to think he's dumb. And is letting the Antichrist bumble around on purpose.
So
not really a question, but what do you think about it?
For anybody who thinks Trump is actually in charge, it's laughable. He's not. He's a puppet on the string for things like the Heritage Fund, Project 2025, and other groupings. Putin. He's not in charge.
Elon Musk, billionaires.
Sure. The uprising of the oligarchy. Like he's just a puppet on a string. He's not in charge of shit. Like,
no.
If you had to ask me who a modern Antichrist would be right here, right now on this planet, I would say the 1% as a collective. They go against everything humanity stands for.
Do you guys know what time it is?
Tool time. For anybody who needs that.
No, it's not tool time. Where's Tahir? Is Tahir still around? Where did Benny go? I thought he was going to hang around for this.
That's why Tahir left.
That is exactly why Tahir left.
Y'all a
I
bunch
told her
of
I was gonna keep
chickens.
sending her invites.
Y'all a bunch of chickens.
Also do invites.
Everybody go send Tahir an invite. Now, we're about to play everybody's favorite new classic game. But while we do, please get me to 50,000 likes. We're so close. And if you're at it, just go ahead and subscribe. I also have 10 of 20 of my gift goals. So if you have coin, please send up the gifts that I've chosen. Don't forget to keep gifting my panel here. But we're about to play everybody's favorite game, Divine or Decline. Nick, are you familiar with the rules?
I am.
Okay, so for everybody playing in the chat and on YouTube, the rules are, or if you're watching this back and you want to play along, it's very simple. I'm going to read a phrase, and if it is from the Bible, you're going to say divine. If it is not from the Bible, you're going to say decline. Now, the things that are not from the Bible often come from the Quran, the Book of Mormon, or they're just a bunch of quoted Bible phrases or a bunch of bullshit. Okay. So remember, from the Bible, divine, anything else is decline. Is everybody ready? So what I usually do, Marjorie, is I'll ask each one of you to answer just so that way everybody doesn't talk over each other. So you guys can unmute if you want during the game, and that way I can hear you talk. And you could talk amongst yourselves and maybe come up with a decision together if you want, or you can go rogue and pick your own. But here we go.
These must be really hard if we get to discuss it amongst ourselves.
Yeah,
this is always discuss.
This is my first time.
Oh, well, good luck. I just, in case you didn't know, like when I played this with Joel and Mezzo, Joel decided he didn't want to be my friend anymore. He was gonna cuss me out. He was like, no, you're just full of shit. Okay, this time though, JD, I made sure that all of the Bible ones are from the NRSVUE so that it was very consistent. Okay,
perfect, because I think you were pulling some of those from the Message.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think I did that, but I might have. I don't know. Okay, ready? Here we go. Number 1. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing personal opinion.
Decline.
I'm going to decline.
Decline.
Marjorie, you going to play? Oh, you're saying divine. You got to say it out loud. Come on.
Divine. It's divine. I know. I feel it in my bones.
That is divine. That's from Proverbs 18:2.
Okay.
Do it.
I forgot that you do a lot of proverbs in this
Not looking
game.
good.
And he has set the earth for all living creatures with fruits and palm trees, with sheaves and grain, with husk and fragrant plants.
Feels divine.
Decline.
It does.
I'm gonna
It is
say
a divine Christian.
I think it's misquoted. I think I have to go decline.
I'm going decline. Maybe Quran.
That's what I was thinking too, Jason. I'm going decline. I think I'm going to say decline on all of them because I feel like you're just doing like trick questions.
Okay, well, that was decline. That was the Quran. That was Surah 55:10.
Yeah. Maybe know more about the Quran than we thought, Jason.
I know.
Maybe.
How about that?
Whenever I say jugular, you all figure out that it's the Quran. I've learned that one. Okay. Let not the one who puts on armor boast like the one who takes it off.
Divine.
I'm inclined to say divine too.
Yeah, I'll go divine.
Can you say it one more time?
Yeah. Let not the one who puts on armor boast like the one who takes it off.
Decline.
Did everybody answer? I'm sorry, everybody answered?
Yeah.
It was divine, decline. It is decline. That was a bastardization of 1 Kings 20:11.
Oh, the contradictions made me think that it was divine. Sorry. Yeah.
The contradictions.
No need to apologize.
Okay. Okay. Blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter the city by the gates.
I remember that one. Unless I'm foolish, it's divine.
She sounded pretty confident, so I'm going to go divine.
Give it to me one more time. Maybe Book of Mormon. Let's see here. What is it?
Blessed are those who do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter the city by the gates.
Oh.
Decline.
I'm going to decline. Yeah, I'm going to switch mine to decline. I feel like the ending that doesn't feel right.
No, the ending doesn't feel right. Decline.
Mm-hmm.
Marjorie is right. It's divine. That's Revelation 22:14.
I do remember. I don't remember many, but I remember
I,
that one.
I think the
It
problem is
sounds like a misquote.
when I was a Christian, I didn't read the NRSV.
Well, listen, last time I didn't use the
Look, let me come up with excuses, okay?
Okay. Fair enough. Do not suppose that God will forgive those who have turned their faces away, for the mercy of the Almighty is reserved for the faithful.
Divine.
Divine.
I'll go with them.
Marjorie?
Definitely divine.
That
Oh,
one
we all
is
said.
decline.
I was gonna say
I
we all
made
said
that
divine, so
up.
it's gonna be
Sneaky,
decline. Damn it!
sneaky Crystal. God,
See, this is
did
why
it
I don't like
again.
this game. You made that one up?
Yeah, that's made up.
That's pretty good.
That's so good.
You could sneak that in there.
Don't let me go
I
first.
know. I could write a Bible.
She said, "Don't let me go first." We would totally read your Bible, Crystal.
Okay, ready? You shall rise before the aged and defer to the old, and you shall fear your God. I am the Lord.
Say that one more time.
You shall rise before the aged and defer to the old, and you shall fear your God. I am the Lord.
Decline.
It came from the Lord of the Rings, so I'm going to say decline.
It sounds like some shit he would say, but you are in my head, Crystal. Oh my
I
God.
know. You know, I think what's throwing me off is like this quote like specifically is the Lord speaking, and she's not using her Lord voice from
I'm sorry, let me do that.
non-believers Bible study.
You shall rise before the aged and defer to the old. I don't even know how I did it last time. And you shall fear your God. I am the Lord.
Okay, see, that helps. That
What
helps.
the hell? Decline.
Yeah, I'm gonna go divine, just because you were very convincing.
I'm still sticking to decline.
Yeah, I'm sticking with decline.
That is divine. That's Leviticus 1932. And I'm
what'd
going
I
to start
tell ya?
using that. I'm going to start using that when people call me old. I'm going to tell them, listen, bitch, you're going to rise before the aged and defer to the old, bitch.
I told y'all that the God voice helps. It helps.
It really does.
Shameless plug for non-believers Bible study on Wednesdays here on CrystalJae's page.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's see, where was I? Okay. The spirit of man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all the innermost parts.
Definitely divine. I remember that verse.
One more time.
The spirit of man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all the innermost parts.
Oh, I'm going to go decline.
Did you say lamp?
The spirit of man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all the innermost parts.
I'm gonna go decline.
I don't remember the spirit of man being a lamp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go decline. But
well, I'm gonna tell you something. Marjorie has read Proverbs. Marjorie has read Proverbs because that is divine. That is Proverbs 20:27.
New rule, no more Proverbs.
Freaking Proverbs get me every time.
Proverbs and Psalms? No.
It's the only
Psalms
book
I
I've
could
read
probably
fully.
nail. Proverbs, no.
It's the only book I've read fully. So yeah, I didn't read a lot of the other ones, but that one I read fully. So yeah.
Apparently.
And memorized.
And
I was bored with Proverbs, so I never actually paid attention to it.
I was
No.
a religion that focused on Proverbs, so yeah, I know Proverbs.
I liked Proverbs, as you can tell, you guys. Okay. And, and in the day the moon shall turn to blood, and the sun shall refuse to shine, for the great day of the Lord is at hand.
Decline.
Decline.
That sounds Quran.
It does. The instant you say moon, though, I think Quran. So.
I'm going divine.
Oh.
Did everybody answer then? Decline, 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 and then JD divine? Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. JD's wrong. It's decline. That was just paraphrased from Joel 2:31.
Okay. It sounded almost Quranish, so that's why I was like,
I think it's just, like I said, I think it's just because it said moon, and whenever I hear that, I just think about splitting the moon and
splitting the moon. Yep.
I'm going against my gut from now on.
Okay. But those who are heedless will be like the chaff driven before the wind. Is it chaff or chaff? Chaff, right? Okay. Yeah. But those who are heedless will be like the chaff driven before the wind, with no place to stand in the assembly of the righteous.
Divine.
I'm going to say divine because of the way you read it.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Marjorie.
I wanted to say decline at first, so I'm going divine.
You guys know that I play poker. Did I tell you that?
Wait. I changed my answer.
You can't.
Wait, but what if that's her, what if now she's just starting to play poker and she wasn't before?
It is decline. That was made up bullshit. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Well, that means that you should have been an author. That's all that means.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, here we go. Final one, everybody. This is the big one. Whoever gets, 10 out of 10, you win the Cadillac Eldorado.
Hey guys, and we are so close to 50K likes. Like if just a couple of people help us tap, we'll get that 50K mark. Thank you.
All right. Can you do it? Ready? There is a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance.
Decline.
That's misquoted. Decline.
Yes. Yeah, I think decline. You're twisting it.
No, wait. That's not even a Bible verse.
Twisting it as in
that's a song.
Yeah, from the Bible.
Decline.
It's from the Bible, but I think you've changed it up a bit.
Yeah.
Decline.
He said you twisted it, but is she just doing the twist?
Come on, baby.
Sorry, that was terrible, guys. I had to do it though.
That was divine. That's Ecclesiastes 3 and 4.
Why did
and
it
you guys, that is
though?
Today's Divine or Decline with NickGraves. How did you do at home? I see Mike says he got 6 out of 10. That's an excellent score. I got them all right, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
Oh, yeah, good for you, Crystal. I think that was the hardest one yet. I think that was the hardest one yet, guys. I don't know.
I hope that you guys had fun playing that. It's just a little fun game that I came up with, and I enjoy torturing all my favorite people with. I just wanted to be able to play a Bible game with my creators when they came up, but Bible trivia is boring, especially if you have somebody like Thinker or Justin who know everything. Like, how am I going to fool them with Bible trivia? So this is the one that is more fun.
I do notice that you made sure, not to pick any verses that would specifically have to do with Nick's specialties, where she would probably know the answer immediately. I feel like that's cheating, kind of, so that the dealer would win, but that's just my thoughts.
I'm not saying that I stacked the deck against you guys or anything. Actually, I will tell you that I do rewrite them sometimes because some of the questions I go, wait, that one's... I actually thought number 10 was going to be too easy for you guys. I thought they're going to get this one right away. But I have had a few that I was like, that's going to be so easy. They're going to get that right away, so I have to change it. But yeah,
Thank you, chat, for agreeing with me.
Game.
I'm glad the chat agrees with me. Premeditated and rigged. I agree.
Yep.
Well, does anybody else have any questions for Nick before we close out today's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae?
Well, it's after dark. I guess I can ask my question now,
Okay.
but I don't know if I want to. Liz might get mad.
No, now you have to.
Okay, so Nick, when you're preparing your potato, how do you get all that
Oh
butter
my
to
god.
ooze out like that?
Oh my god. Not the potato. If y'all don't know what he's
regret
I'm
sending
sorry,
it.
Liz.
He's
I
gonna
do.
forever regret it. You see, the trick is warming it up to that perfect temperature. Like you got to warm it up to that perfect temperature, and that's how you get the butter to ooze just so beautifully.
You're actually providing an answer right now. That's wild.
I am. I'm here to answer questions.
You
If
got
y'all
to get
don't,
nice and warm first, right? Okay.
Nice and warm.
Jesus, I love you guys, but holy cannoli! If you don't
Liz,
know
you
what
started
they're
it.
talking about, I did, unfortunately. Go check out Nick's page. Go check out Nick's page. I don't know. It's one of the videos in the last week or so, and it's got a potato in it. You'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, and Liz and Nick, I promise that's the last time I'm bringing it up.
Sure.
I just don't believe you. I just don't believe you. I don't know why. Well, just for the fun of it, we're going to play my song one more time because I'm really proud of this song that I wrote.
I love it.
Here we go.
It's a brand new day and she's back again. Get yourself a beverage, let's get settled in. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Hey, all our favorite heathens gathered in one place. All our questions answered, our favorite creators on display. It's Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. Hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get ready for the fun. Decon Q&A with CrystalJae.
You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for over 50,000 likes. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you to my panelists who came up. And of course, thank you most of all to NickGraves. I'm so glad we got this time to be together today. And we had a chance to just talk to you and pick your brain. But there's one more thing I want to say is I want to tell you how much I love and appreciate you. You have been a huge part of my deconstruction, and I'm going to cry, but you have been somebody in this community who has been very dear to me, who has helped me so much, and you've helped build my platform. You have supported me, and I love you dearly. You're one of my dearest friends, and I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everybody over on YouTube, and especially thank you to my mods. You guys work your butts off for me, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all.